So, day 3, I'm walking half a block and feeling a bit lightheaded. I'm certainly nowhere near fat adapted yet. What even is fat adapted? Well, the concept is your body is not inclined to use fat as a fuel source when you exert yourself, unless you haven't had high glycemic carbohydrates in a long time. For me, it's only been 3 days, so exerting myself, my body's looking for those carbohydrates. It wants that glucose to fuel itself. None there, only the bare essentials. Fat adaptation takes 2 or 3 weeks for some, months for others. My body's pretty adapts well, so now fat adaptation takes 2-3 weeks for some, months for others. My body's pretty flexible, so I imagine it wouldn't take that long, but it hasn't happened yet, clearly. Day 3 and taking a walk is quite a bit of exertion, so I won't be doing any scheduled exercises until maybe next week, and I'll keep it in the Maffetone aerobic zone. Thing is though, when you're not fat adapted and you do exert yourself, your body is looking for the glucose, so it pulls out what little reserves you do have, which makes you hypoglycemic, low blood sugar. When you are fat adapted, it doesn't really look for the glucose unless you're really exerting yourself, but normal aerobic moving around like this, much easier in a fat adapted state. Geez, quite a thing this. I'm presuming I'm hypoglycemic at the moment. I'm going to check my blood sugar, my blood pressure anyway. You'll forgive me for not having much energy here for this video, but I am undergoing the predictable effects of carbohydrate withdrawal. So, do a blood pressure test. Inflating. I have just come up some stairs. I'm talking, which I shouldn't be doing. I just want a rough idea, really. Yeah, not unusually low or high, so that's not a problem. Let's do the blood sugar test. Bloody one-handed situation, I have to sort that out. I think I can do this, put this down without touching the screen. You think I can do it? I wonder if that blood pressure cuff with its inflation managed to increase the pressure that I'll get at my finger, because sometimes I get very little blood. It's actually annoying. Oh, that should be enough. It's going to be very low. 62. Yeah, that is pretty low. Calculator, please. Three, 444. I'm not going to fall off the wagon. I'm in this for the long haul. It's not a lack of minerals. It's a lack of sugar during the adaptation phase of this thing, so I'm just going to stick it out, maybe have a nap now. Oh right, I did say I was interested in my blood ketones. See, my concentration's not all there. Predictable short-term effect once again. More blood on this one. Doop, doop. Okay, that's pretty high. 4.6. Not that that's a bad thing. This is not diabetes type 1 ketoacidosis from 15 and up. But that's quite a deep level of ketosis. So, that wasn't quite sunset, but I wanted to get the data in as quickly as possible. Nothing I couldn't have predicted other than the quantities. The ketones are higher than expected. The blood sugar is probably around what I would expected, 3,4. Ketones 4,6. That's the highest I've seen, although I haven't seen much because I haven't had a blood ketone meter. I've had those urine strips for a long time. And people complain that those are inaccurate, but they do give you an indication that you are in fact in ketosis. The degrees can be out depending on how much water you have in your system or if you're dehydrated and so on and so forth. But if you're going pink, you are in ketosis. Are you fat adapted? No. And people get the two terms confused. You're making ketones, you're in ketosis. Fat adapted is a whole other story, and that comes later on in the journey. But you won't get there if you give up. There are many advantages to be had along the way. And I'm going to stick it out, even if I have to have a nap now, or a big glass of water and a cup of black coffee. It'll be a nice, relaxing, warm bath while I watch an episode of Archer on the tablet. We shall see.